Yeah, good morning, everybody. Those in the audience and those following us from the web. Welcome to PoLight's fourth quarter presentation. So, together with me today is the board chair, Grete Viksås, sitting on the right here, and also, of course, the CFO, Alf Henning Bekkevik. The agenda is the normal one, key events, introduction to PoLight for those who are new, more details on the market side, financial review by the CFO, and then outlook, and then in the end, Q&A. There are normally quite a few questions on the Q&A. Sometimes we are not able to answer all. So please, through the web, when you answer questions, leave your contact details so that we can reply afterwards if we're not able to answer right away, but we will try the best we can. Question coming from the audience, please wait to the board chair, Grete, gives you the microphone so that those listening through the webcast also can hear the questions from the audience. Okay? So we had quite a good, I would say, momentum, continuing good momentum on the MR, AR space. We got a incremental order, follow-up order from one customer, actually two. We also got a relatively big order from a company related to this display solution. So two follow-up orders on the augmented reality side. We also got a new design win from as a high-end headset, MR headset, where PoLight is used in the see-through camera. We are not allowed to announce the name of the company. Still, hope that will happen closer to summer. But an important design win for us, which is the first application for that particular kind of see-through application. Then we have this mini 2P. You remember this Kavli developed microscope, 2-photon microscope. So there we have actually lately seen some commercial players coming in. And we have one order, which is a good size, 2.5 million, for lenses into a commercial player selling to different labs. And actually we have another order also from this Finisys, which happened after the quarter, which is for same application. So then we, after the reporting date, we got a new customer in the industrial space, Action ProWave Technology, a Chinese barcode vendor, launching first case, and they're launching two products. Coming back to that. Thor Labs, everybody who's involved in lab work know Thor Labs very well. They're also famous for the snack they give to customer who's ordering equipment. So they are now actually distributing T-Lens to the science world, which is positive for us. I will show you some pictures. Also, Sharp Technology Day, again displaying very actively PoLight and our capability. And I also met them at CES, where they also had a quite sizable booth only addressing T-Lens and application for T-Lens. Finally, we had changes in the board. Marianne Bø is a newcomer. She is head of IR at IDEX Biometrics. And Jean-Christophe Eloy, who is the CEO and founder, actually, of Yole. So those are two very strong candidates who will add significant of experience to the board. And sadly, Antove had to step down due to all the loads she has been having for a while and will have in the future. So thanks to Antove, and welcome to Marianne and Jean-Christophe. Yeah. PoLight, global player, one of the few in tunable optics, and of course the best tunable optics. Been around since 2005, so it's been a long journey. We have 22 worldwide patent families, 2 pending and 4 trademarks. We are now 43 employees all over the world, step by step increasing. And as I mentioned many times, we have to increase the headcount because we are trying to do so many things and we need to be equipped to be able to do that in a professional manner. We are headquartered in Horten. It's a beautiful city outside Oslo. And we have employees in Finland, France, UK, US, China, Taiwan, and Philippines. So very, very distributed. I think we are now, is it 15 nationalities in the company? So the working language is English or something close to it. Listed since 2018. So now it's 5 years on being listed. Our technology is very unique. We have an extreme speed, instant focus, no waiting. There is absolutely no change of field of view, so no pumping, no breathing, that constant field of view. Can realize really compact solution. The strength of our technology is to go small. And power consumption, very, very low, which is super important for everything being wearable, as an example. So, short, and for many of you this is extremely boring because you've seen it so many times, but to the benefit of those who see this for the first time, on the left side you can see basically the principle of operation. The idea came from some researchers at SINTEF and PoLight, which when they did some improvement project on the polymer, the lens material, that they felt this is really a fantastic material to replicate the function of the human eye. So we have a lens, we have eye muscles. Changing focus means that the eye muscles is squeezing the lens, changing the shape of it, changing the optical power. It's basically exactly what we do. But we need to find a way to realize the muscles. The polymer is the lens, so that's fine. That was the beginning of the company. It's key knowledge in the company. Everything of the polymer is happening internally, not being outsourced. That's the only thing we do manufacture. Eye muscles has been a big effort to be able to develop and to manufacture in a robust way. And that is basically based on a piezo MEMS fab activity, where there is a glass membrane being, and there is some piezo, which is kind of the muscles bending the glass membrane, as you can see from the illustration. When they put voltage on that glass membrane, piezo membrane, it bends, shapes the lens, changes the optical power. So we have an ASIC driver which we have developed ourselves, which is changing voltage between 0 and 50 volt. Okay, and here you see on the top right, you see this is really small, and that's why we are perfect fit for small compact cameras, and you can see that size compared to a tip of a pen. So you can see it's a really compact solution. On the other side of that coin is, of course, is that for bigger sensors, this is where we have our limitation because of the size. So go small, that's what we like. And all application in this area is typically going for very small and compact things. So that's the future. So we are part of that future. So as I said, on the bottom side is the supply chain. We keep that polymer very close to our chest. That's where we started. That's what we are extremely capable of tuning and manufacture. 1 liter polymer is 1 million lenses, so extremely scalable. Wafers from ST Micro, 8-inch dish, comprising 2,000 plus of each of these dies, this membrane which is bending on the top left side. And then this is being shipped to our assembly partner, which used to be both in Philippines and Taiwan, now only in the Philippines. And they are then singulating, dicing the wafer. They are dispensing the polymer. They are they're dicing the back window and assembly everything, cure and test. Test activity is a super important activity. All the test equipment, which are very highly advanced testing optomechanical performance parameters, is designed by us and owned by us. It will be operated by our assembly partner, but we have the specialist maintaining, and that's why we've seen so new hires in the Philippines is to take care of these machines, maintain and further develop. So these are key parts. Every lens being produced is being tested. This is to secure quality to customer. Then the T-lens we can sell with or without clothes, with or without wrapping a package. The bottom version of what we call package T-lens is some plastic surrounding the T-lens, and the reason for that is easier for customer to integrate. The T-lens in itself is super sensitive. It's an optical component. It needs to be very careful how you integrate it, where you touch and don't touch. And that's why the package is meant to ease that integration. Of course, it adds cost, but it also saves cost on customer side. But that's not always the best solution, because if you really would like to go small, you really would like to go compact, then you don't want to have anything around that T-lens, and you want to integrate it inside the lens stack, as an example. And then you don't want to build any extra micrometers in that stack. So that's why in the bottom camera module you see there, the T-lens is a bare T-lens being added into the lens stack, whereas easier is to the top camera module, which is adding a T-lens in a package to a fixed focus camera. So different ways of integrating, and different camera modules are doing it in different ways. We are heavily involved with supporting camera module partners when they started to design T-lens into their cameras. But of course, the camera module guys, they are wishes and instruction from the OEM. So we spend a lot of time in convincing OEMs to use our technology, and then it will be the OEMs who's pushing the camera module ecosystem to start to use T-lens as a technology. So that's in short PoLight. So we have been focusing on, there are three main markets: consumer, being smartphone, wearable accessories on the left side; industrial, more the barcode type application, but there are also others; and the AR MR application area. Of course, the AR MR we see will also add a significant opportunity to the consumer side, but it also will be AR application, MR application, which is more the enterprise, lower volume cases. So these are the key focus area. And as I said, we are a relatively small team, but growing. And we need to balance seeking opportunities with doing things right. And I've been managing tech companies for soon 30 years, and the recipe of disaster is to start with too much broader applications and not focusing. So we have been trying to balance that, but we have a lot of creative engineers and salespeople, so it's not easy. But that's what we try. Those three markets are definitely, and then within those three markets, we're also very focused on particular accounts, which we think we fit. But then we have seen, and we do have incoming calls. One example is this Kavli team in Trondheim, which have won this Nobel Prize for their brain research. They came to us and said, you know, we need a tunable lens having these characteristics. We have tried liquid lenses, it doesn't work. So can you help us? Will you support us? And as a starting point, it was really, we felt that we did it for contributing to the greater good in a way, because they do super important research. But turns out that now we are very famous in the labs around the world, and starting more and more commercial companies also looking to sell instruments using T-lens into this market. But then also getting establishing name, we have several companies who are looking into the endoscope side. I will come back to that, but we see it as a very long-term development. Same with automotive, also incoming calls, need AF, they think but so far also something which will take a long time to develop. So still the key focus area are these 3 areas, and then we are opportunistic in other areas also, but not such a way that we destroy our effort in the key market areas. So I'm really looking forward when I have to split this into 2 slides and more, but I still can manage to have it in 1 slide, even though it's a little bit messy. So what I've added here compared to last time is of course the high-end MR HMD world-facing camera. That's new, and I'm sorry I'm not allowed to display the name. And then also which is new since last time is this Action, which is a Chinese company who launched 2 products. And what I've also added is the name of the products. The products which Superlead has launched. They actually have now 4 products in the market, but it's listed as 1 design win. And Teledyne has 2 products using T-Lens, not only 1, but it's listed as 1 design win in our tables. So design wins in all key markets. Remember, consumer, so the design wins on the left side with Meizu on top, smartphone, and we have the AR MR space in the middle, which is also a key market, and on the right side, the more industrial. So in all key markets, step by step, we are building super important references. Okay. Yeah, so we have been at CES, so busy start of the year. We've been at CES, and we have been at Photonic West at CES. We were a team of four people from PoLight. On the top picture is our GM in China. And in the middle there is me trying the Vuzix glasses, which was on the show. And on the bottom right side there on the CES is Sharp's booth. Sizable presentation of they call it the polymer lens. So we had a lot of successful meetings and demonstration at CES. We didn't have a booth, but we were running around like crazy morning to evening with a lot of meetings and demonstrations. We demonstrated T-Lens, our products where we are used, like the OEM product, and also T-Wedge demo we showed to customer. On the right side is our first ever booth at Photonic West in San Francisco. It was a correct, appropriate level of investment. We didn't have a big fancy booth, but a booth which attracted a lot of people, and we felt that we did it exactly at the right level. So we demonstrated T-Lens. The white table is different T-Lenses and camera modules with T-Lens. We showed customer products, and we demonstrated T-Wedge as a prototype. This is our young promising guy, which is supporting Tristan in the US market, called Spencer. Also, Photonic West, Thorlab had maybe one of the biggest booths, which tells everything about what Thorlab is. And they showed this T-Lens system, which is a picture on the bottom there. Good visibility and good interest. Okay. Definitely, PoLight remains extremely persistent and focus a lot on this segment, even though it is a challenging segment. I've said that many times, but we remains persistent. Focus in the quarter was definitely augmented and mixed reality cases. Mind you, consumer. So we're involved in many consumer AR, MR cases, and also, of course, smartphone. But other also applications such as webcams, laptop, smart home wearables in general is on our list. I think it's fair to say that if you look at the smartphone market, the current sentiment and our solution typically make us the best fit for the selfie camera due to compactness, due to size, due to sensor formats. But it's also the fact that the selfie camera in this sentiment is having a relatively low budget. So ideally, we should be focusing or having solution for the back camera structure, which is of course on our roadmap. So in a way, short-term wins in selfie camera, I think will be very tough. That doesn't mean that we don't work for it, but it will be tough. I've been mentioning this many times. As I said, when it comes to getting a bigger footprint in the smartphone area, we are doing different things. We are doing short-term actions to enable many players to use TLens, even in an add-in. So we are doing some adaptation to the designs, which can make add-in designs more accessible for more players. Today, there are, say, 3-4 guys who can do that, particularly one who did this Meizu camera. And it's a relatively costly, and they price it very high, this process of manufacturing and add-in TLens. What we are doing now to enable more of the ecosystem to be able to do that is to do new reference design and new ways of integrating TLens, which more people, more camera modules can do, to increase the awareness and increase the availability and to reduce the cost. Okay, so that's one of the, I'll say, short, medium-term actions we are doing. And then we have designs both for selfie, but also for back cam. For longer term, for back cam and for main camera, there's no doubt that we need a bigger TLens. And that's also a project we kicked off now to make a TLens with a big aperture. And that is a project which is not a short-term solution, that will take some time to develop. I will report on regular basis on the status, but so far we have kicked off the project and started a lot of, I would say, prototyping, simulation to find the good design. So this is, even though you can say that, yeah, after Meizu, what happened? Well, a lot of things have happened, but we haven't seen the result yet. So we keep being persistent. We would like to claim a part of that space, and we will not give up. And we have clear actions. Okay? So if you look at the consumer status, so I'm mixing a little bit, because in this slide I'm showing also a consumer-related AR, MR. On the previous slide, it was only the consumer, not including AR, MR. So here you see there are four design wins. There are one design in. That design in is a consumer AR-related case. We have been talking about that for a long time. It's also the one which gave us a relatively significant PO recently. We are doing some NRE, developing a specialized package for TLens for that particular application, and it's related to a display solution. Okay? So that's moving well. And then we have 9 proof of concepts, and look at how many are from the AR space. And we have 14 planning POCs, and look at the size of the AR MR. So there's no doubt that we will have a big role, as we see today, in the consumer related to AR MR. And all we talk to is very enthusiastic about TLens, and also this small, compact, low power consumption is key. So in a way you can say, I had a good friend in one of the OEMs, he told me one for 6-7 years ago, said, Øyvind, your really key application area in the end of the day will be AR, MR. And he may be right. it's definitely something we feel and everybody we talk to is mentioning. But there are other things, and as I said, whatever we do on the tech side for AR MR has a direct relevance for the smartphone area. So we are not giving up smartphone. We would like to repeat the success. The performance of the Meizu phone has been super well received. So it's all about the sentiment and where we position the TLens. And we need to get into the back camera because there are better budgets. Okay? AR, yeah, you know this. Key selling points, compactness, ultra low power consumption. You can think about all the wear glasses, then power consumption becomes critical. Extremely fast focusing, constant field of view, no pumping, no breathing. You shake your head, no gravity impact, because no moving parts. And athermalization, not to mention athermalization, super important. In a glass like this, the temperature will kind of increase. A fixed focus camera will be in focus at a certain temperature, but will out of focus in other temperatures. And that's where the nice thing about TLens is by design, basically. It has athermalization, compensate for the temperature. So, as I said, relevant for both world-facing camera application and display. We are used in 3 products. On the right side, Magic Leap, which was one of the follow-up orders. LED Vision, very low volume, very highly specialized case, Chinese player. And this high-end head-mounted display, where we used in the see-through camera. One day I hope I could display the name, but so those are the 3. In addition to that, we have 5 design-ins. We have the assessment that 2 of these 5 will be launched this year. That's the latest information we have. I think one of them seems to have that is a very particular design, which we think seems like they have very soft demand for that particular product, and seems to be used mainly for sampling customer and create interest. I don't think that will go into mass production. So that's at least the status how we see it today. The high volume case, the consumer case, which is this display case, moving very well, super keen customer, big player, and we were invited to see a demonstration of this in actually a glass setup, and it was amazing. And without using T-Lens, it didn't work. So super interesting case, and the relationship we have with the customer is really good, and it seems to be established a very long-term relationship, not only for one product, but for product family. Okay. And then we have T-Wedge. So again, T-Wedge is based on the same technology platform, 2 glass membranes, polymer in between. Instead of bending like T-Lens, it's tilting. So basically beam steering. And that beam steering is used to create a wobulation, which is used to enhance the AR micro LED type display. They're fighting against resolution, brightness, and using, if they go too high resolution, they lose brightness. So adding T-Wedge is a perfect solution without compromising any of these other important parameters. We have been displaying this now for quite some time. We had it at CS, we had it at Photonic West, and it does really create a lot of interest. We haven't yet formally decided to kick off a project to develop a product. It's still in our books a R&D activity, meaning all costs related to this development, which is some millions, is expensed, meaning not into the balance sheet. So we see it as a R&D with, at the moment, no firm decision to move the product. I think that's important to stress, but we We are quite vocal about this. We do show it to a lot of customer, and the reason for that, of course, is that we would like to have engagement from customer from the early beginning, so that when we really start a very focused product development, we know that we fit into that market well. So we sell technical samples to customer, not for small money, which also helps on the financial. So I think that within this year, we should be able to find a case where we're focusing. I believe instead of that case being a standard TWedge product we sell to all, I think maybe the beginning will be a purpose made for a particular customer, and then after that, make a generic product, most likely. But let's see. But it really creates a lot of interest. Yeah, so definitely this era keeps us busy. 3 design wins, 5 design-ins. You can see the different logos represent, like the greenish is the enterprise, the orange is brown is consumer. So 3 design wins, 5 design-ins, 8 POC, and 17 planning POC. So every month there is coming a few new ones into this. I should say that this is also including TWedge. Of course, not in design-in, but in POC and planning POC, it also includes TWedge. I think in the report I have mentioned that with numbers. Industrial. Yeah, action. Very nice to see that customer coming. So that's good. So now there are 6 companies using TLens in 11 commercially available products. So not bad, step by step. Very low volume, you know that. And I'm saying that, say it again, that I think before we see big volumes here, I think we need to build that reference bank more. I think we need to get people to dare to take it into higher volume application, which is typically point of sales. And that takes time, but we feel that we are building the fundament for that to happen. Also in this segment, there are other things, and I'm just mentioning this Tour Lab activity. As you can see here, if you go into their webpage, they are selling this kind of kit, which they sell to labs and scientists, researcher, using the TLens, and this is in a laser application, I think. And of course, when researchers, scientists is getting trained and educated and doing research, a little bit like Kavli, based on a TLens, what do they do when they come out in the commercial world? Well, they have that education and they have that knowledge, and this will be, of course, in the longer term, super important for us to spread the word and to get people to know the technology and how to use it. So super nice examples, we feel. Yeah, here you can see the same overview, 7 design wins, 1 design-in, 13 POCs, most of them related to barcode, but there are also some other activities, and 8 planning POC, half of it being related to barcode, and machine vision, sorry. Healthcare. Remember we talked about Xenocor, and they had some problems. They need to go back to the lab and redesign. And the way we see it, we don't think they're going to include AF. So that's sorry to say, but that happened, and nothing to do with the TLens. It's all about them using a relatively low resolution sensor and also needed to get fast into market after those problems. So that case has been removed from the design-in. It was never a design-win, even though many people had in direct contact with Xenocor classified it as a design-win, but we never did. It was a design-in. Always a risk that disappear, but that disappeared not due to TLens, but due to strategic decision and time to market. Kavli Institute has been super important for us. On the right side is Phenosis, a company in Germany. And the Professor York Winter, CEO of Phenosis, is making this statement that we have been instrumental for realizing this instrument. He is basically a commercial company who is building complete systems. So he's not only selling the microscope, which you see on the picture, but everything surrounding it. So it's kind of a big system costing a few €100K. So it's a big thing. But also he has a company called LabMaker, which is selling only the Mini 2P microscope. So this is starting. Now we are engaged with 3 commercial companies who's selling this to the labs. And look what he's saying here on the bottom right. He says that by offering the Mini 2P innovative technology as a turnkey solution, we believe that hundreds of research labs around the world can implement a complete system within hours. Today we have direct interfacing in many of these labs, and they themselves have to build a system. So what physicists want to do is to release them from that pain and give them a complete system. And of course, he says the low power, fast autofocus capability of the T-lens enables a rapid shift in focal plane scanning, enable deeper 3D recording of brain tissue. PoLight's tunable optics technology has been instrumental in the Mini 2P solution, and we look forward to future collaboration. So here we really make a difference. And I think this is, in addition to be a fantastic brand building, it is also something which step by step has meant relatively sizable contracts. When it comes to a little bit back to endoscopes, there are still a lot of POCs in the endoscope side. But we do feel, and the latest understanding we have, that there seems to be sticking with relatively low resolution sensors. And we are not so sure that the AF will really be so important for them. So I would say that there is a path towards, say, from 2 to 5 mega, then things are changing. Also when they have a platform which can enable them maybe all in focus functionality, then yeah, things will maybe change. But I think in the short, medium term, I don't expect any of these POCs to bring design wins as we see today. We may be wrong, but that's how we see it today. But definitely there is a lot of POCs ongoing, and remember I talked about a relatively big company who's doing a POC in this high-end endoscope, and that would be a very long-term POC going into advanced research. So it's not that it's not happening, but I'm just saying that don't expect anything short, medium term when it comes to the design win. It's something which has to come over many years. Okay, which is also why we have said what we always said: the focus area, consumer, industrial, AR/MR. The other ones are things we explore for long future. Okay, so nothing new in a way. The new thing is that the Senecor, which has themselves been extremely vocal about this laparoscope, is that case had to go back to fixed focus, to time to market, and also due to resolution issues. Okay. Automotive, yeah. I kept the same title, automotive, a non-trivial volume opportunity, and I think that non-trivial part is definitely true. It is again a market where we see that, yes, we have POCs ongoing. Yes, those POCs are based on existing T-lens. Yes, we have started to do reliability testing with the temperature spec and what have you they demand. And yes, we see a solution. But also we see that probably, as we say that for back camera, main camera, smartphone, we probably need a bigger T-lens. I think this is also very often the case for automotive. So it has to be something which is coming along when that is in place. Having said that, I think, as we always said, this market is minimum 5 years ahead of us. So don't forget that. It's minimum 5 years ahead of us. And in that point of time, we will have bigger TLenses, as according to our current roadmap at least. So still activity, but it is non-trivial, and what we have ongoing, what we do see, and which may be a fit for the existing TLens, is in-cabin systems. So like on the picture here, that there is a need to monitor what's happening inside the cabin, both the back seats and the driver. There may be application for existing size TLens, but most of the cases we so far looking at will need a bigger TLens as we see today. Okay. Yeah. Still, I would say a promising pipeline. We have 15 design wins now, which is up from 12. We have 9 design-ins, which up from 8. We have 95 completed POC. My board chair is telling me, how can you cope with all these projects? And of course, completed POC is something in a way we don't need to attend to when they are completed, but what's happening then is that then we really start to push on the commercial side to see, okay, where are the design win opportunities? Ongoing POCs is 40, down from 46, because somebody has been completed. Of course, here we have to attend and do a lot of support. And then planning POC is more a sales activity, which is 40, down from 41. Yeah, this is Øyvind's slide. I'm still updating then, Øyvind, on a regular basis, so we can see still in some a very decent activity. So, my dear CFO, will you do the financial?
Sure. And good morning to you guys. Revenue came to 5.1 million in the quarter, compared with 4.1 million in the fourth quarter of 2022. The revenue reflects sales of TLens and ASICs of 3 million NOK and 2.1 million in revenue from NRE relating to customer development projects. EBITDA loss of 26.3 million, compared with a loss of 50 million the same quarter in 2022. And there's several reasons for the increased loss. The most significant is that we have increased the number of employees by approximately 5, and also that due to the share price increase during the fourth quarter, it has been recognized 7 million in share option expense, compared with 1.4 million in 2022, which is only not a cash-driven item. So, because it's included, but it could potentially be cash because it includes the Social Security. A little bit technical, that one. But balance, we had 114.8 million in cash at the end of the quarter, compared with 84.2 million at the beginning of the year. The inventory was 70 million at the end of fourth quarter, compared with 45.6 million at the end of last year, or 22. The inventory has increased with approximately 500,000 NOK in the quarter. The increase during the year, last year, is mainly wafers from STMicroelectronics, which is the long lead time component in the TLens. On the cash flow, we started the quarter with 132.8 million in cash. We used 17.8 million in operating activities, compared with 15.2 million in operating activities in the fourth quarter of 2022. We ended the quarter with 114.8 million in cash, and according to the current plans that we have, the group cash deposits will fund activities throughout the fourth quarter of 2024 and into 2025. Thereafter, additional capital will be required to continue the planned commercialization. So the company has planned accordingly. Okay, thank you.
Okay, last slide, outlook before Q&A. So, as I tried to convey, PoLight remains persistent in a challenging consumer market sentiment. We will continue to address this market with smart solutions, of course, capitalizing on the first design win for smartphone, and make solution and modifications and completely new solution, which will position us nicely also in this market going forward. AR/MR key for PoLight. We will build a strong position in the enterprise. We are already involved in many consumer-related activities, as you have seen. One being already designed in, so key to push that forward. Other high potential markets we have been talking about, which is not key focus at the moment, but which is there. Healthcare and automotive, yes, but no short-term, medium-term opportunities as we see it today. Except what we do more on the science and healthcare side, like Kavli. We need to continue to strengthen the organization to perform in a robust way all these important activities we do have. And as Alf Henning said, the funding we have will take us through this year and into next quarter next year, and we will plan accordingly. Okay, Alf Henning, would you like to join me for the Q&A?
Sure. Okay, first question. Sharp Tech Day was incredibly exciting with PoLight Eyes. Can you say a little bit more about the way forward for Sharp? Will they be able to use T-Lens in their own products, or will it most likely be selling camera modules to others?
Yeah, Sharp will also in a Tech Day. That's mine.
I think it's mine.
Is it? That's fine. That's fine. Greta can give you a new one. Yes, I think Sharp is key for us. They do a lot of invest a lot in what they call the polymer lens, and they both for their own own activity. Yes, could be own products for Sharp. That's our clear understanding. They will use T-Lens-based camera module in Sharp products. That's the plan they have today. But also over and above that, they also sell their camera module capability to other OEMs. So it will be both.
How do you feel about add-in cameras modules for AR/VR and smartphones? Are there many CMMs or camera module makers that now have modules ready for production should the order come?
Yeah, I think we answered to that already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the consumer market, the trend has reversed globally, especially in smartphones. Mm-hmm. Q4 was the first quarter with increasing sales of smartphones again. Mm-hmm. Is this something PoLight register throughout interest from OEMs and camera module makers?
Not really. Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it's easy to get meetings. It's easy to get enthusiasm around showing the Meizu phone. But as I said in the presentation, this selfie camera, even though it's kind of starting to see somewhat better in the we seen from PoLight addressing the selfie camera, we don't see a big difference from last quarter. So that's why it's so important step by step to address the back camera with new solutions. So that's how we do. Yeah.
The Meizu phone got a lot of positive feedback. Has it triggered interest from other OEMs?
Definitely. I think that is super important phone. We are showing it to everybody we can. We have many phones around the world which we do demonstration, and it's definitely a door opener, and everybody's really impressed by the performance.
What effect has Apple's launch of Vision Pro had on other customers?
I think Apple is a trendsetter. I think that when and if they are successful with this kind of equipment, I think it will have a huge impact on all other players in that market. So positive, I would say.
PoLight was in the US and presented TVEDGE. What feedback did you get from customers, and is this a product you will continue with?
Yeah, I guess I answered that already, but yes, the way we see it today, yes, but we will try to find lead customer first.
The display project that is a design-in, is this a customer who is thinking of using this in their own products, or is it about a customer who can sell the solution to many other OEMs?
I would say I don't want to comment on that specifically. I just wanted to say that it is a consumer case. It is a display case, and it is also related to an all-day wear glass, meaning a glass you wear all the day. So it's a potential relatively high volume case, but I not want to comment specifically on that, because that can lead you to speculate who it is.
Which needs does this display solution solve? Will it be for consumer grade,
Yeah, consumer,
or
yes.
professional?
Consumer, yes.
Okay. Design win announced in VR just before Christmas. Is this about a single version or all the glasses in the series of this actor? Again,
I prefer not to answer that because of trying or in the risk for making it too easy to guess who it is. Sorry.
We see that there are many, both small and large players, who say that they are going to come out with AR/MR glasses in 2024. How does PoLight stand when it comes to opportunities for some of these?
As I presented, I think we have a lot of cases in the AR/MR space. We see a few to be released in 2024, but I think the main activity specifically related to the consumer cases we are involved in is more like kind of late 25 or 26, the way we see it. But we may be surprised, but that's how we see it today.
There is a very large player who has a project with PoLight in medical. Can you say something about the progress in this project?
Yeah, they're still doing POC, very active, but as I mentioned in my presentation, is that we don't see anything short, medium term ending up in a product. It will be a long-term research and advanced research, and that's, yeah, we will keep you updated, but that's how we see it today, a long-term potential need.
Mini2P is being discussed internally now, and not internationally now.
Sorry. Also internally.
Yeah, also internally. What can you say about the possibilities for Mini2P going forward?
I think it's quite promising. I can't say, you saw Professor Winter saying that there are so many labs and he can sell turnkey solution, which all will of course include TLens. So there is a potential there, but it's not going to be a big volume. But I think it's interesting to see that relatively few months we have now received, say, 3.5 million PO for that application. So it's not insignificant compared to our revenue. So it seems like it's getting a lot of interest around the world. And as I said, there are 3 commercial players who are investing in making instrument they want to sell. So let's see.
Xiaomi, MaxHub, and Meizu. Why is there no TLens in subsequent products when good feedback? Can you give a reason?
Good question. Xiaomi smartwatch was launched when Corona was detected, and that collapsed the whole market for that kind of device because everybody was together and the kids was not allowed to move without parents. So that was unfortunate. And after, when they started to produce again, it was all about cost. And in this case, we were too expensive. MaxHub, a little bit the same. It's a cost issue. Meizu, again, selfie camera cost. The Meizu 21 doesn't even have AF in the selfie camera. So they decided to remove AF function in the selfie camera with Meizu 21. So Meizu 20 Infinity is still the high-end phone and is still shipping.
Why couldn't you sell TLens to the many already released products in AR, VR, MR when you have been participating from the start in the segment and have been super busy for several years? What is the reason you give?
I think the best reason I can, the best way I can try to explain it is that to get into these major players with new technology in new products, it basically takes a lot of time. You have to educate them, they have to test, they have to understand how to drive it, they have to understand how to use cases. So it's not that we are not trying, and it's not that we are not willing, of course, but it's basically that those guys who take decisions, they are extremely risk averse, and they want to do a lot of testing. And you look at the PUCs list we have and planning PUC, they really need to understand that this is something which they think they can implement in a robust manner. So it's basically new hardware in new markets basically takes a lot of time. But the good thing is that we are there. We have established references now, so it's something which helps a lot for the future. And you look at the activity on PUCs and planning PUCs, they don't do this for fun. They have an intention, of course.
Having design win with example Honeywell, Teledyne, Kevlar, Magic Leap, there is no doubt about the quality of TLens. So what is the primary reason for sluggish sales?
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's basically the same answer I gave in the last questions. I think things takes time, and we just need to be persistent and keep pushing and improving what we have. And one day we will be there. That's definitely how we feel it today. But yes, things takes time, and that's in a way unfortunate, but also not unnormal.
Vario, who you have not registered with design win by name, has themselves mentioned several suppliers. Other suppliers have mentioned themselves that they supply to Vario. Why can't PoLight?
Now, I don't have any specific comment to Vario, but some customer allow us to announce, some customer do not. But in the end of the day, this unnamed customer in the MR space will be announced also from our side, but at the moment we are not allowed to do it, so without specifically referring to Vario.
Do you still have the same belief that
I just wanted to say one thing which is the customer sometimes is thinking, and I'm not referring specifically to Vario, is that they don't want to, if they think they've done something smart, they don't want to broadcast that to the whole world immediately. That's a little bit the thinking.
Do you still have the same belief that AR, VR, MR products can become significant volumes, and when?
Yes, that's clearly key for PoLight in addition to the other consumer markets. I think that the way we understand the cases we are exposed to from consumer side, I would say is probably kicking off in 26 around. That's our understanding.
Is TLens best suited for stationary devices such as microscopes, machine vision, and barcode scanners? No. Any case with needing compact cameras is, and I would say wearable is maybe an extremely good example. Also what you're mentioning here, but also of everything wearable, everything compact, I think we are a super good fit. When does PoLight expect any significant income from one of the verticals? I think what I've said before is that the profitability in PoLight and the revenue, significantly revenue in PoLight, even though it's increased from 0 to 20 plus, don't forget that, still significant increase in that is some years ahead of us, which I also been saying before. So that's nothing new. Is the AR vertical developing in line with PoLight's vision of becoming a key component player in the field? Yeah, I would say so. What we feel today is that definitely that is the case. From your point of view, is it realistic that PoLight will appear in any selfie camera in the smartphone vertical in 2024? I think, as I said, this selfie, where we today we fit very well in the selfie space, and that is something which has a very low budget, which makes that an uphill battle.
as I say, we remain persistent. We will come with a new solution, but it is a challenging area with the existing portfolio.
PoLight has previously stated that they only announce stock market announcements that have a value-creating influence on the stock price. Considering the Photonics West and other presentations announcements, does the same principle still apply?
Yeah, when we do send press releases, some press releases you will say is kind of, we say that we send out because it's classified as insider information, new design win as an example. Then we see it as a very important that everybody know, and we classify as insider information, and then we give the same information to all players, and that's what we're supposed to do. And I would say that the level of news flow design wins for that to trigger is relatively low since we are in the phase we are. When we send other press releases, they are not insider information type press releases, more like to inform the market that we are at SPI, we are doing a presentation there. So those are different press releases.
It seems like you have a competent team in the Philippines for assembly. Mm-hmm. How has the yield developed since the fourth quarter, and what are the production capacity goals for this year?
Now, we as we said before, the yield is something which takes stable volumes over time to fully understand. But what we have said is that we definitely have proven that we have a very nice yield capability when we produce. Then we are still in debugging phase. We're still optimizing test equipment and processes. So the yield per production batch is still kind of varying, but it's varying around a higher number without being specific. Capacity, we have said that we have different capacity numbers, but if you typically say per month between 500,000 and 1 million, depending on which part of capacity, which part of the value chain we're talking about, is what we have. So that's already kind of in place, but of course we don't push material. So you have installed capacity when it comes to equipment, and then you have what you feed of material. And as long as we see that the volumes are as they are today, we are very careful by committing to new material into the line. So that's the answer to that.
In the quarterly presentation for the first quarter of 2023, you said that a mobile project was moved from design in to proof of concept because the project was far ahead in time. Is this still an active project, and when can we expect to hear more about it?
I'm not completely sure which project you're referring to, but I think I know, and that project is now in, I would say, in a completed POC stage, and they are exploring different potential projects to use it.
The company is constantly running at a loss and has been dependent on raising fresh capital to maintain operations. Has the company experienced being disqualified from some products due to concerns about their financial situation?
It's a very good question, and it's extremely important. So our kind of finance is extremely important for our customer, and on a regular basis I need to explain our strategy and our thinking regarding this. I would say so far we have not been disqualified, but definitely this is sometime which I need to use time to explain our strategy and how we manage this. And of course our funding situation is important for not kind of being disqualified. So far we have not been disqualified, but it is an important topic.
How does Xander Glass utilize the advantage of the T-lens?
Yeah, Xander Glass is this. I think it's the glass. It's the company who's making. Is using actually Vuzix Shield glasses to pick up sound and transfer that to text for people who cannot hear. I actually tried it at CS. It's quite nice. That is not using T-lens as such, because T-lens is in the camera side. So that's basically using the audio and some processing capability.
Has there been any progress in AG2's iris model with T-lens since last quarter?
Yes, they're still working on it. A small company, of course, limited resources, but we're still following them up.
Are current processors on the market good enough to use TLens as a pass-through camera feed in standalone MR/XR glasses, or do they currently have to have external processing power via a computer to achieve this?
Yeah, as a TLens itself, I'm a little bit uncertain what the question is about, but the TLens itself is being sold by us, including a driver. That doesn't need any specific kind of processing power. Then, of course, the different customer drive it in different ways. So in a way, yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, but TLens and the driver doesn't need a lot of power.
Smartphones have been important to get a foothold in the short term due to opportunities for large volume cases. And the company has said in recent years that smartphones have taken a large part of their capacity. Do you spend less time in this market now and in the future? Has the company changed direction in relation to resource use towards the various market areas?
Not really. And what I'm trying to emphasize every time, and also today, that whatever we do having relevance for smartphone and vice versa, AR/MR, has a relevance of cross these two application areas. So smartphone, AR/MR, they are basically having very similar needs. So it's not like what we do only have relevance for this or that. That's the nice thing about what we do. It is a platform which has application in different areas. So that is both are super important.
Can you say something about the prospects for a new round of fundraising and how this might plan out? Another issue?
What I can say is basically that we have the board and management is continuously, as I said before, evaluating what to do when, in what structure. And when a decision is there, it will be announced.
If not already done, will you make a pipeline chart also for TWedge?
Yes, good question. I think that's, in a way, since we are telling the market that this is a prototyping and not the formalized product, we haven't done it yet. But I guess at the point of time we should.
Can you expand on the price sensitivity and how you cope with it? Do you think it will soften up a bit when TLens is more established and hopefully more recognized as a must-have?
Yeah, I think the main dynamic here will be that I think yes, there is. If you take the AR/MR space, where we think we have extremely good case, I think that of course when you must have, there is a more possibility of having an attractive price. But I think also AR/MR, we really would like to be a part of the consumer part of AR/MR, and I think we just have to admit that consumer means very price competitive, and we need to adapt to that. And then again, pricing, costing of the TLens or TWedge for that matter is directly dependent on the volume. So it's a chicken and egg. We need to have an attractive price to get the volumes. When the volumes come, the cost will go down. So we need to be flexible in a way. We need to look at it in the longer term. So I think that consumer application will put the pressure on pricing regarding of it's a must-have or not. And then also, customer don't like must-have and only one solution. They like to have different options, and we need to be competitive.
Thermalization is one advantage when using TLens polymer as a fixed focus lens. Do you see this approach being competitive to the standard fixed lens used today? Also, since this approach is fixed and juice will not need piezo driving, would it be feasible to make the TLens bigger? And if so, would there be a thermalization market for them? Again,
a very good question, which we have been discussing, and which is kind of in our potential roadmap. So yes, it's a potential, and it's something we are considering. But so far, we haven't took the decision to move that direction, and we are selling this athermalization functionality as a part of a TLens which can be activated. But yes, it is possible.
It has been relatively few announcements from PoLight in last month compared with what could be expected from the pipeline. Could we just anticipate a catch-up effect during the first quarter or second quarter this year?
it's very difficult to predict. I think some of the cases I think it's what's not so slow in the fourth quarter, to be honest, when it comes to news flow. It's relatively decent. But I think if you look at the pipeline, some of the pipeline activities, they are more longer term, and as I said, take AR, MR as a case, they are, and the consumer in specific, we see them coming 2026 plus minus, so that's how we see it. So when I think the catch-up effect, I don't see any short-term catch-up effect, but I see a long-term catch-up effect.
The pipeline seems to be building a bit slower than before. Is this due to PoLight capacity, priorities, constraints, or what? Of course, it's something to do with our focus, and also we are spending a lot of time on the key market areas, and also it's also a little bit, I think, reflecting the consumer sentiment and where we fit. Yeah. How about competition? Increasing, new players, incumbent improving their alternatives, or cutting their prices?
I think there's nothing new, I feel, during the quarter when it comes to competition. Still, I would say the biggest competition is the conventional type VCM.
How is the CFO recruitment progressing?
So what will you say, CFO?
No, you can tell them.
I have a CFO, and that works very well. But of course, we want to add a CFO to strengthen what we are lacking, the kind of financing, strategic. So that I mentioned, IR. So many of these things are on my shoulder, in addition to many other things. So we need to strengthen that capacity, and to do that, we have been searching for a while. There has been some good candidates, but we are still not in the process of conclude. So we will continue the search. For now, I have a CFO which is doing a very good job and very reliable. Keep the numbers right. So we are not in any kind of extreme hurry.
Do you foresee? Thank you, Øyvind. Very nice. Do you foresee new equity financing, or will you be able to utilize other financing facilities like debt, factoring, or government export credit facilities?
I think what I said, that the board and the management on a regular basis are discussing this to find out what to do and when to do. So debt financing, I think, is not a really good case for PoLight, but whenever there is a decision, it will be, of course, announced.
In the AR/MR market, you state that key selling points for T-lens is hand gesture recognition, and that fixed focus lenses drift out of focus. Still, Apple Vision Pro seemingly copes relatively well without autofocus. Did Apple consider T-lens in case? Why did they choose not to use T-lens?
I don't have a comment to that, Gunnar, sorry.
You state that only 2 of 5 design-ins in AR/MR are likely to launch this year. I understand one of them to be Vuzix. How consumer-related is the other design-ins?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that, but there is one. On the 5 on design, I have to take it off the top of my head. Of the 5 design-in, only 1 is consumer-related, and that is still a few years ahead of us for launch. I think we need to.
We do?
Yeah, let's take one more.
Meta, Sony, and Samsung are all expected to come up against Apple Vision Pro this year. Is the consumer segment being established without the need of T-lens?
So as I said, we are involved with many players in also planning to have a consumer focus. But of course, there may be releases where the first version is without AF, and that where the POCs they are having are more for the later version. So this, of course, could happen. Let me just now quickly see.
It's 12 more.
12 more that we don't have time for. I think Gerrit has a question. I think we answered that. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just, sorry, give me a few minutes to scan through them. Yeah, we have one from here. That one, if you take that one.
Okay. Investors following PoLight knows the company name of the high-end MR HMD. Do you believe their competitors also know that they use T-lens in the autofocus wall-facing camera?
Yeah, as I said, I don't have any more comment to that. The one we are designed into, we are not allowed to say who it is. I understand that there are some speculation who it is, and I guess that speculation also is among competitors. But I cannot say, and when I can say it, I will be very glad to say it. But I cannot comment more on that. Sorry.
Okay. Can OEM stop you from sending out press releases because of NDA, or do you have to press release PO, design win, and new contracts as they happen?
Yeah. So no NDA can stop us to do what we legally are obliged to do, but they can refuse us to use the name. So then we have to announce it on no name basis. Can you show me the overview of the question? I'm trying to screen so that I don't answer those who already have been kind of somehow covered. Yeah, here's let's try to take the critical questions.
Okay, a critical one.
Critical ones.
What do you tell the investors to ensure them that PoLight is a company that will succeed and worth investing in? Over the years, the company has addressed good interest for the technology. Why is that so few actually use it when it's described as is the best? Can you understand what investors start to lose patience when quarter after quarter shows nothing else than a few more projects?
So I think it reflects a understandable frustration within some investor forums and areas and people. So I think that's fine. We need to accept that. That's how it is. But I also feel that we always try to communicate in a balanced manner. We always try to show the opportunity, and we always also try to be realistic. We could choose a different communication profile. So I would say that I feel that we have highlighted the risk and the downsides, and we have highlighted the opportunity. I think that we are standing here and we are working crazy hard to develop this company. We strongly believe that we will be a successful company. Yes, it takes time. This is not the first time a hardware tech company, it takes time to develop. We have a unique technology. We have, after all, established some extremely important design wins. From 0 in 2020, we have now how many design wins? And those are design wins with key players within key market areas. Yes, I also could love things to move faster, but there is no reason, as I say from Haugesund, flacking with a blick. This is a fantastic technology, it's a fantastic company, and we will be successful.
Good answer.
Yes, and true.
Okay.
Let me see more.
Oh, you're not finished.
Yeah, I think we need to stop there because I see people start watching. We have been going on for a long time. I will try to reply to these questions offline. Let me take this last one then.
Okay, last one. Does the commercial success of TWedge depend upon the mass production of micro-LED displays? Also, do you regard the emerge of nano-LED displays as a threat to business, or can TWedge enhance this technology as well?
I think TWedge can be used in different applications, different display solutions. So Micro LED for sure, but also others. So the other, I don't have a good answer to the other one, but what we have seen so far is all the display technology which is out there see some benefits in using T-Wedge. So we believe that strongly that this is a good case. But as I said, we would like to clearly understand that market and need before we push full product development, and we would like to find the first customer and more like a purpose-made design for that customer before we go into more general product release. Okay, I think we need to, sorry guys, there were so many questions today. I tried to answer what I saw as I haven't addressed. Yeah, so I think we need to stop there. Everybody, thanks a lot for you coming, meeting us face to face. Always an enormous boost of motivation to meet you and to talk to you. Super interesting to get all your questions. That really makes the presentation so much more dynamic. Thanks for the audience following us through the webcast and sending in questions. Alf Henning, we need to make sure that we scan those questions again and try to reply those we didn't manage to do. Super thanks. See you next time. Thanks a lot.